They only know you paid a fare, no different than any other transaction you would make.
So if I tap in here, Visa won't know that there was that.
Visa will know that you paid a fare at New York City Transit. That's what they'll know. And now if you register on our website, in our own account, in your own account, you can then track your usage. You personally can track your usage. But that usage stays within your account, and we don't share that with anyone else.
Clayton, we've been very focused on data privacy issues from the very beginning, and I think have built world-class protections into the system. Anybody else?
Matt, do you have a
Dan.
launch benchmarks of what you anticipated, and then how does this exceed that?
Yeah, Dan, as I said, I think we underestimated. I think it's fair to say that the millionth tap, at this point, we're 3 to 4 times higher than the number we anticipated. As I said, I think we happily underestimated, and our customers proved us wrong on the high side.
What's going on behind the scenes now for the expansion?
Yeah, look, we will have deployed OMNY to the entire subway system and bus system by the end of next year. It's an ambitious goal. We expect to meet it, and as I said, the project's on time and on budget. And Al and I and Wayne Leiden and the entire team are committed to keeping it that way.
Considering how many people are using it, was there any thoughts of speeding up that timeline, and what's the hurdles, or what's keeping you from expediting that?
Then here's what we did. We wanted to come up with a schedule, announce it to the public, and make sure it was one that we could meet. There are other places around the world that have been more aggressive and have disappointed customers. We didn't want to do that. We're comfortable with where we are. On time and on budget is exactly where we want to be. The system will be deployed to all subways and buses by the end of next year, and I think customers are voting with their smartphones and contactless credit cards. Rich.
So I'm not sure if I would use the term sophisticated. What I would say is that we are a state-of-the-art system, and because we're new and because this project is a design-build project, we're able to design things and not have them in the pipeline for years and years and years and then execute an old design. So the design, the technology is all state-of-the-art, and it is certainly a very sophisticated system. There are other systems in the world that are going in as we speak. So they're also very sophisticated. I can only speak for where we are, and we are certainly at the cutting edge on technology, but as we like to say, we like cutting edge, not bleeding edge.
This is kind of tangentially related. There was data released showing how fare evasion is targeting people of color. I mean, that's been the case for years with the state data that comes out. Does that give you pause to how you police fare evasion? Obviously, it's a big concern for the authority now. And why do you feel that it's so skewed towards African Americans?
Well, look, I think the NYPD has done a good job in the following respect. Number of arrests significantly down, number of summons significantly up. The diversity issue is of great concern to us at the MTA. We're in constant dialogue, including as recent as today, with respect to the NYPD's policing. And we're looking forward to those numbers changing, except the decline in arrests and the increase in summons relative to arrests. Please. Do you want to speak to that, Al?
So we're going to finish off the Lex line up to 125th Street. And from that point on, as we are working right now, we're continuing to roll out the infrastructure necessary, the network infrastructure and the hardware necessary to light up the rest of the system. So we have great flexibility in where we go next. And the system will be, basically, I guess the easiest way for me to answer is we haven't made a final decision, but obviously we're going to go to our heaviest stations. We're going to light those up so we get interoperability, look at bus transfer points. Our customers pretty much know what that means. And I think it took almost 3 years to roll MetroCard out end to end. We'll be doing this by October of next year. We'll be done. So we have some flexibility. I don't think we want to necessarily just do a line-by-line rollout. I think we want to hit some of our heaviest stations so we get the most usage and transfer points, and we can roll a line out as well. As I said, once the infrastructure is done, the rollout process is very easy. So we have a great deal of flexibility. That's the answer to your question.
Yeah, the rollout's going to be customer focused. We're going to go where greater numbers of customers can take advantage of Omni earlier. Rich. Of course. Yeah, I've got contactless credit cards in my wallet. I think 3 of them. I've got one of my credit cards tied into my iPhone. I've used it. It's been seamless every time.
So if you want, I can do a demo if you want to see how it works.
Sure.
So you can see my phone is. Well, I'm going to relock it. My phone is in its lock state. So I'm going to show you how it works. So all a customer has to do is remove their phone and get it within an inch or so of the reader, and it will pick up your contactless wallet and transact the fare. And I'll show you. Okay, no problem. No problem. But that's the process.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned when you rolled it out, you said the timeline was to catch any issues so riders aren't, riders able to use it. Given that that preference for catching it, did you catch anything? Did you have any problems and addressed it in the way you instructed the rollout?
The problems and issues were identified prior to the rollout at the end of May. I'm glad we did it that way. Customers have experienced a seamless experience, and our desire and our goal is to keep it that way.
So no complaints, anything, maybe double charged or picked up like credit card, phone?
We really haven't had anything like that. We've mostly had things where people didn't understand perhaps how the system worked. When we're in what's called a transit transaction mode, it's a different way of processing transactions than in a retail market. So when a customer gets an authorization for a transaction, the authorization doesn't necessarily mean they paid that fare yet. And in some cases, the authorization the banks were putting through were greater than $275. So it looked like they were paying more than $275. But that's an authorization. It's not a charge. Now, your statement would never show it, but customers have the ability now to go online and look at their accounts instantaneously. So we did get some calls that say, well, I was charged $6. But if you look 4 hours later, you see you actually only paid $275. The authorization gets processed, and then the charge goes through. So there was some education. There was also some modifying of our software, and we're continuing to do this. We want to make it as seamless as possible and as quick and easy for our customers to understand. And we continue to update our software, and the process is an ongoing thing. And we've got a lot more to do. We've got to introduce time-based passes. We've got our senior citizens. We've got our students. And it's important to know every single functionality that MetroCard delivers today will be replaced in kind, equal or better under Omni. So our reduced fare folks, our students, they don't have to worry. They're not going to lose their benefits. MetroCard runs side by side with Omni till this project is complete.
Okay, are you on topic? All right, let's do on topic. Okay, him first, then you, then David.
What are the advantages for customers and the advantages for the MTA of the system?
Advantage to your customers and the MTA of this system.
Look, the basic principle in Omni is customer choice. So customers today can continue to use a MetroCard. At some point, they'll use an Omni card in the future. If they want to use cash, they can use cash. If they want to use contactless credit cards, they can do that. Smartphones, Apple Watches, other devices. So the system is based on customer choice and expanding it, point one. Point two, the MetroCard system has served the MTA in New York City and the region for 25 years. With great distinction. MetroCard is one of the great brands. The MetroCard system is old, it's aging. We want to give customers a 21st century experience. And third, the operating costs of MetroCard, just given the age of the system, have been increasing. So we expect a reduction in operating costs going forward. Those are the advantages both to customers and to the MTA. Yes?
So the rollout is in stages. So we're going to be introducing a virtual card and also an Omni card that customers can purchase themselves. So that's going to be more in the tune of around February of 2021. And you'll be able to link your own credit card to a virtual ticket that will allow you to do 7 or 30-day, as well as buy a physical Omni card. Not every customer has a bank account, and we certainly recognize that we will need to sell cards to our customers. So we will do that as well. And an Omni card will be available for customers to pay cash and use the system, or link their credit card to the Omni card as well, and then you basically have a card that replenishes itself.
David.
I'm hoping to respond to the story that we had in the papers today about worker availability, specifically focused on New York City Transit, saying those workers only work or miss 54 days of the year. How are you trying to address that inside or outside of contract negotiations?
Well, look, David, I'm not going to speak about the substance or status of contract collective bargaining negotiations. Haven't done that in the past, don't intend to do it. Obviously, I read your piece. As you may recall, I spoke at the last board meeting about employee availability being an important issue. I continue to believe that as an issue that all the MTA agencies have to face, and it's a significant factor, I believe, in overtime. Beyond that, I don't have any comment. The board meeting, as we mentioned, is not a meeting at which action is going to be taken. It's going to be briefings on a number of important subjects, and I expect there'll be discussion on all of these issues. Clayton.
Should riders be worried about a strike from local 100 that's been 3 months since
No, I don't think so at all. There's the Taylor Law, obviously, but discussions and negotiations are going on. Beyond that, I don't have any comment. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Rundown of the milestones from here to retirement.
Why don't we do that on Friday?
Get that at the demo. So Al is going to do a demo for the cameras, and Rich Radio can get a microphone in there and show you exactly how it works. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, what did I say? You said retirement, I just didn't. I switched from one topic to the other. So whose retirement, mine or Pat's? I don't know, maybe this is Al's Swan question.
Shams is here. Shams will work with you.
Say the word.
Yeah, picture-wise, right?
Every time I do this, it costs me $2.75 out of my own pocket, so let's get this on one shot. This one here?
No, that's fine, yeah.
You ready? So, all the customer needs to do, you can see my phone is in lock state. Just approach the turnstile, place it over, and you get the go sign. Before I can go. It's that simple. It unlocks my phone, it charges me the $2.75 automatically, and I'm good to go. And I think our customers are going to love that. Why wait online at a station agent booth? Why wait online at a Metropolitan vending machine when you have in your pocket what works automatically every time? It's very reliable. You get a record of your transactions. You can register through omni.info and see everywhere you've been, time, date, and cost. Now, how could you beat that? That's why I think we're getting 80% penetration. That's why I think our numbers are 4 times better than what we anticipated.
Al, the MetroCard adoption was largely in part because of incentives that were attached to it for weeklies and monthlies. Is there going to be, have you had any discussion about any way that incentives can be included in this?
Absolutely. Omni's a staged rollout. It goes in different functionalities get introduced at different points in time. Those functionalities are on the horizon. They will come later in the project. For information purposes, about 50% of our riders purchase time-based passes, and about 50% pay the regular $2.75 fare. So right now, about half of our riders can avail themselves of this type of fare product. And in early 2021, time-based products will be available through Omni for all our riders.
All right, thank you.
All right, we're ready for the chat? I did it already. You did already? Okay, good. All right. Are we good then?